Ripe Avocados, episode 35. Today we're reviewing the next wonder piece coming from the MCU stage. What stage are they in now? 3? I don't know.
Stage too many. That's what they're in.
Okay. Yeah. We're getting into the, we're
We're
getting
also
into
they're
like
also
the
in
menu
phases, not stages. But
or phase, whatever.
well, I'm pretty sure. I can't even remember now, but Infinity War and Endgame were like the end of Phase 3 or Phase 4, because then the new phase started right after that.
This feels like the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. So there's just nothing good coming from this department or whatever you want to call it. The MCU just may be dead, but we'll get more into that after Sean tells us what this movie was about.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day. Daydream.
So this movie, the timeline of it is a little weird. So yeah, it takes place after the show of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because spoiler alert, at the end of that show, Falcon turns into Captain America. He gets the cap suit, he gets the shield. Honestly, the suit's pretty badass. So basically, Sam Wilson is now Captain America, and Thaddeus Ross, who we saw in The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. I can't remember the actor's name that originally plays him, but he has passed recently, so rest in peace to him. He was badass. Thaddeus Ross is president, or is being elected president, and or he's president. Dude, this movie's so forgettable. But basically, he kind of enlists Sam Wilson, Captain America, under his wing and wants him to be like under control of the U.S. government and the U.S. military, which is crazy to say, but like, yeah, why not? His name is Captain America. But basically, it's this whole thing of like the U.S. trying to control the random adamantium that's out now on the celestial body that's coming out of the Indian Ocean, wherever it's
It's
coming
this
out
weird
of.
it's this weird niche case where the United States is trying to like meddle themselves in other foreign affairs. And
Yeah.
we've never seen it before, and Brave New World takes on Brave New Beginnings and really makes a name for itself here.
Dude, I will say, I feel like this movie was just trying to like tie up a lot of loose ends. Like everyone was talking about like, yo, there's a giant celestial body coming out of Earth, and no one has talked about it in any Marvel movies, because that happens at the end of Eternals. And then it's like, okay, they touch on it in this movie. They bring back Incredible Hulk stuff all the way from 2012 that we haven't heard of up until now. I don't know. It was just like a bunch of random shit, and I was like, why are they doing this?
It feels like our review of this movie, before we get it more into it, is going to just be what Marvel or the MCU is doing wrong with all these recent projects, which probably is not the hottest of takes or whatever, but we sort of have to do it, I think. I really do think you touched on it. It's just making everything so much more confusing, the way they're writing these plots, man.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that Incredible Hulk movie, and you said it came out in 2012. I don't. It's been so many years since I've seen that, and it's almost like they're writing. You said there's another piece from Internals, which I haven't even watched that, and again, that's supposed to be a shitty movie too, or I don't know
Yeah.
if it's even good.
Yeah, I thought
why-
I thought it was all right. The cinematography in that movie is sick, though, I will say.
Right, but they're just doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on all these shitty movies and expecting the diehard fans from the first three phases, see what I did there,
Yeah.
to keep up with everything. And I'm not doing that. Why would I keep up
Well,
with more bad movies that I don't care
well,
about?
I will say the worst part of it is making it tie into the shows. Cuz
Right.
like cuz lots of people go to the movies. It's a big thing, but like having to subscribe to Disney Plus and having to watch through a full season of a shitty ass show is annoying if you want to watch their shitty ass movie, but you got to do it to make sense of the shitty ass plot. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah, but you're supposed to do this in theory, and then I go on Letterboxd or I just open Twitter after I watch this, and everyone who's seen the show hates it. So why would I subscribe myself to more? You know,
Right.
they
Yeah.
need to just chop it clean, do a do a reverse multiverse effect, or whatever. There and just make a completely new story. And I don't give a shit if you want to make Anthony Mackie Captain America. I understand he's Captain America in the comics, and that's all fine. But they're tying so much shit into like they're talking about Steve Rogers still. Just get rid of him, you know? Just
Yeah.
completely eradicate that whole story because it's a completely different thing. And it's also better too, which doesn't help the fact that all of the old MCU fans like myself, who I wouldn't consider myself, I don't watch the new shows. I just think they suck, so I'm not gonna waste my time watching them. I'm gonna just it's like missing the old Kanye or whatever. He's probably not the right name to bring up right now, but
No.
it's the same effect. It's like I don't like his new music at all. Every time he comes out with something new and terrible or talks about, Jews, I'm like, "Oh my God, I missed graduation." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing. And that's really where this whole movie is going to lead us down. So I guess we could just talk about our scores here and then get into it. So I went 3-5 for entertainment for Brave New World here.
Okay, we were a bit off there. I went 6-0.
All right.
It
Well,
wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen from Marvel.
let's do them all and then we'll talk about
Yeah.
the scores more in depth here. So characters I went 3-1.
Characters I went 5-5.
Oh my God. So there's a big curve. You have a
Yeah.
big curve here. Cinematography I went 2-1.
Cinematography I went 6-0.
And then writing I went 1.9.
Yeah, writing I went 5-5 again.
So our biggest discrepancy is actually, I mean, they're all around 3 points. So let's just start with the entertainment of it. Like, I just thought it did not live up to even the action hype that it could have brought. The first
No.
scene was kind of cool, I guess. It was like this sort of espionage, but it just made me miss the Winter Soldier, and I feel like that's really what it's trying to do. But the fight scenes weren't well choreographed at all. There's a lot of CGI, a lot of green screens that were bad, a lot of just random nonsense too that really had nothing. The whole plot just didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I thought there was a ton of filler characters too. I'll just kind of do a big summary of why I hated this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what was the point of Giancarlo Esposito? I heard somewhere online that this is a loaded question. I heard somewhere online that he was added to the project late. It seems like they literally just put him on the poster and wrote in a random story arc where he was a villain, shocker, and then he dies in a very quick amount of screen time. And they probably gave him $15 million to do nothing.
Does he die?
Thoughts?
I thought he just...
Or he gets apprehended or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he never comes back into the fold.
My thoughts on it were that they added him to be like the Bucky / Winter Soldier type of character in Captain America Winter Soldier. Like his character was supposed to be that badass version that we saw of Winter Soldier because like you said, I think this movie was just trying to replicate Winter Soldier as much as possible. like the hype around Winter Soldier is perfectly rated, and it's an incredible MCU project. So I think they were trying to go back to those kind of roots with this movie. Again, it's kind of like the same sort of plot, not trusting your government, and
Yeah.
like the government kind of being like shady and doing these crazy things, and like of course Captain America is supposed to be fighting against that for justice or whatever he gets up every morning and tells himself. But like I definitely think Giancarlo Stanton or
Definitely think John Carlos Stanton's a fucking bum. He needs to work on his strikeouts.
oh my god, that's hilarious.
Stop getting injured in the off season. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's his name from now on. That's Giancarlo Stanton. He was in Captain America: Brave New World. I think his character was just supposed to be fucking the Winter Soldier. Like he was supposed to be this badass guy that was like fighting against Cap and would be able to put up a good fight, but like ends up losing at the end of the day. Like the way he did that fucking gunshot through his cape or his long trench coat, and they made it this like cool cinematic experience for like half a second. I'm like, they're trying to do the knife flip. They're trying to do the knife flip V2, but like it's not working.
I just don't even think. I think Giancarlo Esposito has been typecast maybe more than anybody in the history of TV or cinema. Like he kind of fucked himself with Breaking Bad, honestly.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to get paid.
They all
for
kind of
life.
did that in Breaking Bad a little bit.
Yeah.
It's
To be
just
fair,
such a iconic show. It's like
Right, but I feel like this dude's been in so many movies just as a stereotypical bad guy. He's just mean and
he's
like,
Gus in every
pissed
show.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just not like that character has way more layers than any of the ones on the big screen, I guess, but he just plays the same guy over and over.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I guess he was supposed to be a counterpart to the Winter Soldier, but then what was the point of the dude that looks like he got his head boiled by water or whatever? Like I didn't even
head?
follow. Dude, I didn't follow any of this plot. Like it just didn't make any sense. It was really
that guy's
too.
from The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, too many, just way too many loose ends, bro. I couldn't tell if Harrison Ford was bad. I couldn't tell if. I guess they're all like kind of bad, but Harrison Ford didn't mean to be a horrible person, so he had a morality check at the end of the movie after he like destroys DC fighting Captain America. I don't know. Here's a pretty basic question that maybe they didn't think of in the writers' room. Why don't we just make a Falcon series instead of the Captain America series? Part 2. I feel like they could have just done this and called it Falcon. And they literally gave him a Falcon sidekick. Like what the fuck? They just can't come up with anything original. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
They just
know
made
because
yeah.
I feel like they probably think the general public wouldn't go watch a Falcon movie coming out. I will. No, that's the thing. I love Falcon from the Captain America movies, and I love Anthony Mackie. I think he's incredible. But
dude, he is Falcon. It's the same thing. He just puts on a different name.
He's got a shield now, bro.
I mean, bro, if you were to ask AI to make you a version of Captain America, it's gonna make Steve Rogers 100 times out of 100 times. So why are we pointing this? Why are we pointing this in a different direction? I think it would have just made it way better, way more original. You could just have a Falcon movie. We have a fucking Black Widow movie. Like, what are we doing? We have one Incredible Hulk movie.
Yeah, but you give Scarlett Johansson a shield with a star on it, and it's Captain America, bro.
Nah.
Yeah. That's not your Captain America?
No, there should just be one Captain America. I don't really understand why they're going down this whole rabbit hole. I understand. I guess if it's in the
it's
comics,
just the comics, yeah.
I don't know. It just never did it for me. It's just Falcon in the Captain America suit. He doesn't even have super strength.
Well, see, yeah, that's the problem with it. It's because the first three phases of MCU were so beloved, and like, well, honestly, at the time when they were releasing movies, of course they released shitters in the first three
Yeah.
phases, but like it all built up to a beautiful Infinity War and Endgame. Like I don't know where these new phases are going to build up to, but again, everyone loves the first like three phases of the MCU, and like those movies are so fantastic, so everyone thinks of those characters, right? When you think of Iron Man, you think of Tony Stark, you think of Robert Downey Jr. You don't think it's going to be weird seeing him as Doctor Doom now. Like when you think of Captain America, of course you're going to think Chris Evans because he was great as Cap in, Cap 1, Winter Soldier, Civil War, etc., right? You think of him fucking picking up the hammer in Endgame. You think of Falcon saying on your left when Doctor Strange portals come out. So now it's like weird, this like new phase of superheroes, this new phase of like people entering a different title. Like Sam Wilson basically just got a promotion, a big time promotion. And he's now Captain America. Like you have to be following the shows too, because like the whole Hawkeye show, I think his daughter is supposed to be now part of like the Avengers, maybe. Like I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
It's too confusing. It's just too confusing.
Yeah.
I understand how superheroes can get different aliases. At least in the I'm more DC, and I know you are as well. But like, there's what 4 different Flashes, and there's different versions of like Green Lantern and stuff. That all makes sense to me. It's the part that doesn't make sense. It's almost I'm talking out of my ass. Sorry. It'd be like, to me, if Bruce Wayne was almost. I know Robert Pattinson's Batman is, or no, that is part of the DCU, correct? Or no, it's not. Whatever.
Robert Pattinson's Batman?
Yeah. Is it part of the DCU? Whatever.
I don't
Pretend
think
it
it's
is.
part of the DCU.
Whatever. We'll pretend it is, and say there isn't a comic book like this, because I think Batman just works better. But it'd be like if Batman is now the Martian Manhunter. Like, no, he's not. It's fucking Batman. Like, this is Falcon. Why is he? It just doesn't make sense why you're just making Falcon, who I think is a great character, just Captain America, but he's just Falcon wearing the colors of Captain America. So he's just Falcon. So just call it Falcon. That's my whole rant.
I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with it. I think if the movie was better, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
If
and the movie just sucks. So nothing about the whole.
So we're always going to be thinking about the good old times. That's the thing. Like, I'm thinking of Winter Soldier. When I hear Captain America movie, I'm thinking Winter Soldier, the peak Captain America. So of course, when I see a shitty new Captain America movie, I'm gonna be like, damn, I wish this was like Winter Soldier. But like, I don't know if it'll ever be the same again. Probably not.
No, it probably won't.
Yeah.
And I can't really come up with many positive things to put onto this movie. Like, it really just, it's not even hitting like action scenes, which should be an automatic like boost in a movie like this, but nothing really is positive. I didn't have anything noteworthy about cinematography. Very forgettable soundtrack, if any. I just thought they used way too much CGI per usual, and we talked about the fight scenes being mid. They gave away too much in the trailer too. Like the whole marketing was completely spoiling the whole plot of the movie, which sucked anyways. Like it was all bad. And
I thought the best part of the movie was definitely Red Hulk. I think you mentioned this at the beginning.
Yeah.
But again, they cut it short. It's in the last like 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And I think it was the Escape podcast I think I showed you, where it's the two guys, they talk about like a lot of like comic stuff. They brought up a good point. it was weird because the fight scenes, again, when you think Marvel, you think these grandiose fight scenes, this dope fighting choreography, the cinematography while the fights are happening is supposed to look sick. A lot of it was just like a little bit of fighting and then Sam Wilson kind of talking down his opponents, like talking them off the ledge,
Yeah.
and then them just being apprehended by authorities. Like, I wanted to see a badass fight between Red Hulk and Cap. And we
Right,
got
or-
like, it was like sick for like 5 minutes when it was just the Hulk destroying DC. And then they get to the fucking cherry blossoms, and next thing you know, it's like a therapy appointment, and Red Hulk is back to Thaddeus Ross.
Yeah, and they're all like, he means well, but he's not really a villain.
Bro, DC cops would have been like, pop, 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 pop.
Dude, yeah, I don't like. I'm just not a fan of when you have a fucking superhero movie, you have to just make a villain really evil for no reason. So
Yeah.
the superhero can beat the shit out of him, and it feels vindicated. That's
Yeah.
all it really comes down to, dude. That's why The Dark Knight's so good, or one of the reasons why it's so good. I don't know. This movie just sucks. I don't really have. I would never recommend this to anybody. I've told everybody that's asked me about it that it's horrible. I had a really bad viewing experience. If you listen to the
yeah,
last
that's right.
podcast, the very beginning, I was talking about that, but none of it helped. I actually watched. Oh my god! I actually watched it in
I actually
3D,
watched.
and that made it even worse, or maybe it made it better. Who knows?
What
It's
like
just-
what parts in 3D were?
You know how 3D is nowadays. It's not eye popping. It's almost like you're just in the middle of the scene.
I haven't seen a 3D movie in, I don't know, 15 years or so.
Yeah, it was a good one to get back into the mix with. Let's put it that way. I don't know.
It was a
man.
good
Honestly,
reminder as to why you stopped watching 3D movies.
put it this way: this movie is so bad that I watched it in 3D by accident, and I really didn't care, and it probably made it a little bit better of a viewing experience for me. While some dude was constantly tapping the reclining button on his seat the entire movie. So yeah, that's Captain America: A Brave New World. We gave this a final score of a 4.2 out of 10, and it would have been way lower had Sean listened to me a little bit, I guess. Brought his scores down.
No,
But-
I wanted it to be that 4.20. You know, that's just a good number.
It's a good. That's like one silver lining of this fucking movie. is the jokes we can make about its final score.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing, and I don't know where they're gonna go from here. I have a feeling Thunderbolts will also suck. It is another one of these that I haven't seen any of the. I just haven't seen any of these other ones leading up to Thunderbolts. I didn't watch Black Widow, and I know David Harbour plays that side character in that. Is new Captain America in Thunderbolts?
I don't
Anthony
think
Mackie?
so. Winter Soldier is, though, Bucky.
Okay. Yeah.
They
I'm
have
not
it's
excited.
they have Bucky, they have Sentry, who is like a pretty dope character. He's pretty much like Superman but like on roids, and he's evil.
Yeah.
So he's pretty badass. Like in the trailer he was turning people into shadows. They're like running away from him and he's like zapping them into the ground.
Yeah, so that'll be absolutely terrible. But looking forward to it. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add.
Nah, I just can't get over how much of like a reboot they tried to make, or how much they tried to replicate Winter Soldier in this movie. Like even the little Russian chick, whatever.
Yeah,
she
that was the most pointless character too.
She was supposed to be like a Black Widow. She was literally a Black Widow or a Red Widow, whatever they called her. And like, I get it. They literally just got a shorter. I mean, she's not Scarlett Johansson. They just got
Yeah.
a shorter female character to play some sort of like super top secret agent, the right hand under Thaddeus Ross, and like yeah, her fight scenes were like cool, but not really. I don't know.
Do you know how many people have gotten cameos and beat up henchmen in Marvel movies? Like, it wasn't impressive. This movie sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't.
Robin from How I Met Your Mother is destroying henchmen in Marvel movies. So if she can do it, anyone can.
Right. Yeah, no, this was terrible. I don't have anything else to add. Please don't watch it. don't watch this movie.
Unsubscribe from Disney Plus.
Unsubscribe from Disney Plus.
Start boycotting Marvel a little bit till they make a good movie.
Yeah, I really
to
don't
be
know
honest,
when
like I don't know.
I have hopes for Doctor Doom, I guess, because Robert Downey's in it, but I don't know. I really don't know anymore.
Do you though?
They need to just call it quits, I think.
Maybe
At
the
least
new
for 5
maybe
to
the
10
new
years.
Fantastic Four will be good.
Yeah, nobody's ever said that before. And on that note, that's going to do it for our episode 35 of Ripe Avocados. That is a 4.2 out of 10 for Captain America Brave New World. Do not watch this. I repeat, do not watch this. All right. Until next time, peace out.
Deuces.
I dream of the places I've been with you. How we sat with the stream flowing.